Hello and welcome to another political dialogue program. This week we have a very important guest, Kostis Efstathiou, member of the Cyprus Parliament and Parliamentary Assembly of the EU Council member. Dear Kostis, thanks for joining us today.
It's a pleasure and it's an honor. Thank you very much.
So a while ago you make a report about Kurdish leader Mr. Abdullah Öcalan and the isolation that he's facing, and you read out this report on the European Council meeting. So let's get little information about the report. What is the index of the report?
Yeah, the report was dealing with the cases of inhuman treatment of people who are in custody in the countries of Council of Europe, including people who have been jailed, sentenced to jail, imprisonment, and not only them, people who are deprived from their freedom in the countries of Council of Europe. Unfortunately, this situation is not unfamiliar. It's something which is getting worse all these years instead of being improved. And there are some also cases who are very flagrant, such as the case of Abdullah Öcalan, because it's for my opinion, is one of the typical inhuman treatment a man or a woman can have in a democratic, let's say, society.
Exactly. So let's get a little more deep into this report. What is the main topics of this report? Very short.
Yeah, the main topics are what are the situation in the countries of the Council of Europe regarding the respect of human rights of people who are in custody. And this report was mainly based on the reports of the CPT, the Committee Against Torture, and credible information either from NGOs or activists from human rights or human rights organizations, together with testimonies emanating from people who really suffered or who are linked to people who are in custody. The outcome of the search and of the work is that there are some countries who are unfortunately champions of these inhuman treatments, and three of them are mentioned specifically: is the Russian Federation, the Azerbaijan, and unfortunately Turkey.
Yes. Also about Mr. Öcalan's isolation and the treatment, how do you think the EU Council is approaching to this? Because the CPT is also part of the EU Council. As we can see, CPT went to Turkey a couple of weeks ago and they didn't go to İmralı. And
they
how do you say this is
denied the access in İmralı. And this is something which has to be taken into account when dealing with a Turkish case. I mean, it's outrageous. A country which knocks the door of European Union or pretends to be a democratic society denies the visit to imprisonment, to prisons, especially for this personality, which is a well-known personality, is a worldwide personality, as Abdullah Öcalan is. And unfortunately, Turkey pays no cost. This is something which is alarming regarding Europe's future.
That was my other question. You bring it to a good point. Turkey doesn't pay any cost. So at this point, I would like to ask you, there is decisions about Turkey from ECHR, Human Rights Court.
Yes.
Also, there is decisions from European Council as well, and CPT has reports as well. But Turkey doesn't implement anything. They don't do nothing.
Yes.
Is there any legal way to fight against this? Because CPT has a responsibility to go to İmralı, but they don't. And then
they tried in the past. They tried.
They tried. ECHR tells about Selahattin Demirtas, and then Mr. Abdullah Öcalan as well. But Turkey doesn't implement these decisions. So why nobody?
Kavala also case. The
Kavala case as well. But nobody comes up to Turkey and tells, if you don't do these decisions, there is a
penalty.
Penalty.
A cost.
Yeah. But why not for Turkey this cost?
Yeah, we had as Parliamentary Assembly done a very serious step towards the truth in the case of Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan was not allowed, the credentials were not passed. That means that the delegation, Azerbaijani delegation in the Council of Europe, in the Parliamentary Assembly, was denied. They were denied, so they are not participating in the delegation as the other delegations. And this is a cost paid by Azerbaijan because of their attitude towards human rights and inhuman treatment. So the same, according to what I believe and must be done, has to be done for Turkey, because Russian Federation has been expelled from the Council of Europe. The Azerbaijani delegation was denied the access and the participation in PACE. So for the same reasons, there must be the same approach towards Turkey. At least, it's a symbolic movement not to accept the credentials of the delegation, but it's something which has to be done, because Turkish people, no matter if they're Turkish or Kurdish, deserves a better treatment from their government.
Thank you. So let's finish the topic of the report and we move to the isolation of Öcalan. So
yeah, the isolation is inhuman treatment, and take into consideration that no visits are allowed, no information is given about the situation of Abdullah Öcalan. That is very alarming. This is a typical, and to be honest, we couldn't find a similar case of this inhuman treatment. Even at the era of in South Africa, the apartheid era, Nelson Mandela was not denied either the visit or the access of his lawyers, his relatives. For all these years he was in prison, and we're talking about the apartheid system, which was something which is unacceptable. So even Mandela was not denied. Abdullah Öcalan is denied everything. People are afraid. There are people who are afraid of his status of health, even about his life. No information is given. This is not a human treatment. This is the worst treatment a creature can receive.
So you are also a lawyer, and you know the international law as well as you know the human rights law as well. So what is the way to challenge Europe on isolation on Öcalan? Because Europe has responsibility as well. As we spoke about the CPT then what is the legal way? What needs to be done to challenge this?
Is to find the ways how to implement the judgments of the European Court of Human Rights. This is another big issue. Don't forget that in Kavala's case, Turkey was ordered by the European Court of Human Rights to release Kavala, which is not done. Something was denied also by the Turkish authorities. And no further steps has been taken against this flagrant illegality. So we have to find the ways. One way is what I have told you, what happened in Azerbaijan, but in Azerbaijani's delegation, but this is not enough. We have to find the ways. Do not forget that the last summit in Reykjavik of the leaders of the European Council of Europe, the issue of human rights and respect of human rights implementation of the court's judgment is one of the pillars of the democratic society. So by the time that these judgments are not complied with, we have to find the way. We cannot stay, just begging the perpetrator not to do it again, which is something which is unacceptable in a democratic Europe as we vision about it.
Most of the people are saying that the isolation on Öcalan is inhumane and it's against the international law.
All people who
exactly, but
common sense.
Do you think Turkey's lobbying has an impact on EU Council not to take action against Turkey? Because European Council members like yourself as well, you're saying that isolation is against human rights and it's a torture. But why they don't stop it?
We know that there are double standards. Let's not hide ourselves. The Europeans rightly condemned Russia for the invasion in Ukraine. They did nothing about the invasion of Turkey in Cyprus. They rightly demand the atrocities to be stopped, and they also rightly condemned Putin's regime against the atrocities of its own people. They do not say the same things for the atrocities against the Turkish people and the Kurdish people, especially in Turkey. So unfortunately, there are double standards, which personally they can't coincide with the Europe we have, we dream and we vision. So yes, let's finish with the double standards and let's have the same position, firm position, no matter who is the perpetrator. The situation. The same situations deserve the same treatment. We cannot deal with that because this is something which destroys the strength of the foundations of Europe if we allow this situation to continue.
Also, as you know, since from the 10th of October, there is a campaign called Freedom for Öcalan, Political Solution for Kurdish Question. Kurds and their friends all over the world, since 10 October, they running this campaign. It's a new era, actually. So what is your call to support this campaign? What is your call to free Öcalan? Why Öcalan should be free, do you think?
Because Öcalan is the man who gave to not only to Kurdish people but to Turkish people the voice to be raised. He gave them the right of demanding freedom and democracy. no matter who is the individual who demands it. So the easy way is to condemn Öcalan to being a terrorist. The difficult way is to give him the merit and the value he deserves. And he deserves a lot. We have to give him a lot. At least we have to give him a leader, as one of the leaders of freedom of the whole world. I can't find any difference between Öcalan and Mandela. Believe me, I can't find a situation where a people was given its identity by a single man, Abdullah Öcalan. And this is something which for this he deserves to be freed.
So we can say that Öcalan and his ideas are kind of ideas to bring peace to the Middle East, and this peace in the Middle East will be example to the whole
Peace in
world.
freedom. Peace in freedom. And because there is no peace when there is no freedom. You know, there's a proverb, Indian proverb. They say, the Indians in America say that there is no peace on stolen land. So peace and freedom go together, and something which you can't split it. And Öcalan is a man of freedom.
One more question I would like to ask you. As you know, Kurds has friends. They trying their best with the protests to stop the isolation and stop Turkey's attacks to Kurdistan as well. What else needs to be done, do you think? What is your suggestion to the Kurdish people?
Not to give up. Not to give up. When I was a young pupil in the 80s, I couldn't see the difference between Turkish and Kurdish people. I thought that Kurdish were Turkish. I couldn't find the difference until Öcalan launch of his campaign and his expedition. By now, after all these years, we see that the area, at least the area where Kurdish people do live, is called Kurdistan. So never give up. By the time, they continue their struggle for freedom, democracy, and justice, they are going to succeed. So never give up. Continue this beautiful struggle for freedom, peace, and democracy. And one day, the victory will be enjoyed by the millions of Kurdish, not only in Turkey, but all countries of the region.
Thank you. Lastly, shortly, also you read out this report, you prepared the report about Mr. Öcalan for the European Council. What is the next step for you? What will you do next for the Kurds and to break the isolation on Öcalan?
I'm very.
Any projects? Do you have anything?
I'm very concerned about the situation of Kurdish women in Turkey, and we have to do something about them because, as you know, one of the main topics of Öcalan's vision of the region was that women deserve to be equal and are equal to men in this ancient region, where in the ancient times we all know that women were equal to men. So I think that our next step is to give particular attention not only to Öcalan's case, but especially to women situation in Turkey, Iran, and wherever there is this oppression towards
Thank you.
women.
Anything else you would like to say? Anything I didn't ask about the Öcalan's case and for the Kurds?
It's what I told you. Kurdish people deserve their freedom. They have already gained their identity. It's time for them to go forward.
Thank you. Thank you very much, dear Kostis Efstathiou. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for your valuable comments.
Thank you.
Thank you. We came to another political dialogue programs, and today we have very important guest, Kostis Efstathiou, Cyprus parliamentary member, as well as the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of EU member. Thanks for joining us. We will see you on the next political dialogue program.